Hi, everybody. My name is Liza. I am the founder and president of Dance Data Project. We are in year 2 of Raising the Bar, which is our completely free online curriculum. Today, we are talking to Linda-Denise Fisher-Harrell of Hubbard Street Dance, Chicago. We haven't done this before, but she had so many interesting things to say, and we delved so deep that we thought it made sense to split the interview into 2. So part 1 is about her history, where she went to school, and then part 2 will specifically focus on her reimagining of Hubbard Street Dance Chicago. So welcome to the series. We are re-recording the intro. If you see me moving from room to room, when we were taping this, I had a bunch of workmen outside, so you'll see it looks a little bit scattered. Anyway, welcome to part 1. Hi, everybody. I'm Liza, and I'm so delighted today to be interviewing Linda-Denise Fisher-Harrell, who is the artistic director of Hubbard Street Dance Chicago. We have a fabulous session planned for you. The topic that we picked, essentially it's about mastering the art of the turnaround, is rescue, recovery, and rebirth, reimagining a company. And I cannot imagine anybody more qualified to talk about this than Ms. Fisher-Harrell. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, Liza. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you have this extraordinary career. Let's start with you in Baltimore. Tell us a little bit about growing up in Baltimore. Tell us about the High School for the Performing Arts. Tell us about your friend group.
Okay, so thinking way back, I grew up in Baltimore. I'm an inner city kid. I grew up in Baltimore City public schools all my life. When I was 13 years old, I just made up my mind that I wanted to be in a Michael Jackson video because Michael Jackson was on MTV. MTV was just starting to come into its social prominence, so to speak. It was just coming on TV, and these music videos, oh my God, breathtaking. So my main goal was to be in a Michael Jackson video and to be on the show Fame, which was also on TV. And I love the fact that they got a chance to dance on the tables at lunch. And what I found out was that Baltimore had a school like that. There was a Baltimore School for the Arts. I said, oh my God, a Fame school. Ugh. And they can teach me how to be in a Michael Jackson video. I'm going. So I auditioned with no prior dance training. I did not start dancing until I
Really?
got to the Baltimore School for the Arts. I did not dance. If I danced, it was like after school clubs and stuff that we put together on the street.
So not
No
the starting
formal.
at 4 or 5, not the in
No,
class 5 times a week. Wow.
no, not at all. We didn't have access to that. My family didn't have access. My mom and dad are blind. They're both blind. And did a masterful job at raising 2 children, but
I
we
had
had
no
limited
idea.
resources.
Wow, I
Yeah,
had
we
no idea. Do you have
yeah.
siblings? Do you have
I
siblings?
have a I have one sister, and they did a great job at making sure that, well, there are a couple of extracurricular activities they could get us there if they were connected to the school, right?
Okay.
There was not really any additional stuff happening.
Yep.
So I auditioned for the Baltimore School for the Arts, and when I talk to my teachers now, I'm like, what did you see? Because I had no training. They laughed because they said you didn't know what you were doing. I think there was a cartwheel in there somewhere, or I slid down into a split. I don't know. They saw that I was flexible. They saw that I was musical and could take up space. And they could also see that I was fearless, right? They were like, she is wrong as 2 left shoes, but she's strong and wrong. So they accepted me, and I had brilliant teachers. Like I really tack on my success to my teachers. I had great teachers. They taught me the right way, period. They just taught me, they said, you don't know how to do a plie? This is how you do a plie. Do it and do it again and do it over and over and over. And I had wonderful examples. I'm just going to point out Sylvester Campbell, who was in the New York Negro Ballet in the 50s and had to leave the country in order to have a dance career as a ballet dancer. I mean, he was a contemporary of Arthur Mitchell. And so he left and danced.
So many Black artists, they had to leave the United
They
States.
had to leave just to
Flourished in Europe.
prominence.
Yep.
Yeah, so he left and became a principal dancer with the Dutch National Ballet. And yeah, so that, could you imagine? a dancer like that. He was also a principal with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. And so there was this instructor that taught us, he had so much passion for us and instilled a thick skin. Like, nope, I know you're not crying. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You got to do this. You have to be resilient. The world is not going to be this kind to you. So you have to put on a thicker skin and bounce back and let's go. You have to get this right. And so I just soaked in all the brilliance of my teachers, my educators, and I had friend groups, of course, like Jada Pinkett Smith and Tupac Shakur and Josh Charles and all those fabulous people. And we didn't. You're just, charting along on your everyday. I'm just trying to be in a Michael Jackson video. Jada was just trying to do her thing. We didn't know what artists we would turn out to be. And, I was surrounded by so many brilliant, not only dancers and actors, but visual artists who have gone on to do the most incredible things, musicians. So we were just in the right space at the right time. And what was really beautiful about the Baltimore School for the Arts is our teachers treated us like professionals. They didn't talk down to us. They didn't talk to us like we were children. They treated us like we were professionals.
Or that you didn't have, or lacking personality. Okay, viewers, just so you know, I'm going to switch locations. Somebody's taking down the storms in my house, and it sounds like I'm inside a battleship and they're putting the rivets in. So if you're watching this video, you're going to see me switch rooms, and I apologize, Linda-Denise. So talk about the transition from high school performing arts into the professional world, into Ailey. Bring us up through your professional performing career and how long that was. I know is incredibly distinguished.
Yeah, so the beautiful thing is that I went to the Baltimore School for the Arts and I started when I was 14 years old with no dance training. And by my junior year, I was an apprentice with the local ballet company. I was dancing on point, learning rep, spending my summers at the Ailey School on scholarship. And in my senior year, a member of Hubbard Street Dance Chicago came to our school. He was an alumni of the school, Joseph Cassetto, and came and taught some master classes. And his father actually chartered a bus for a group of us to go to Philadelphia and see Hubbard Street Dance Company, which is what it was known as back then in the 80s. And we went to see the company and I thought, oh my God, I had no idea about Hubbard Street. I had never seen them and they knocked my socks off. Just a really dynamic and beautiful company of exquisite artists. I mean, the technique level, incredible. So by my fourth year, when it was time to audition for universities, I got into a lot of colleges, but took and accepted the Juilliard School. So I went from having no training 4 years prior to being accepted into the Juilliard School by the time I was a senior.
And Juilliard, like Baltimore School for the Performing Arts, you mentioned that you were around artists of all sorts of different types, and I wonder if that's helped prepare you for being an artistic director, because it's not just one thing, right? It's not just ballet. It's not just cello, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the best or my favorite things of going to Juilliard was sneaking into all the music classes and being around all of the musicians. And of course, the theater program was pretty extensive. But I think all of the life experiences I had, because I didn't know at the time that that was going to prep me to be artistic director, so to speak. But just to backtrack a little bit, when I was at the Baltimore School for the Arts, the school took us to a student matinee performance, and it was of the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. And for the first time, I thought, oh my God, now I know why they want me to point my feet. Now I know why they need me to straighten my knees. Like all of my classicism or what they were trying to teach me about classicism, all of it made sense. And I saw myself on stage. I saw these beautiful, incredible beings, but I can finally see myself or my trajectory on stage. And I thought to myself, that is ultimately what I want to do. So I went to Juilliard. My first year, at the end of the first year, I was a little bit bored. I hate to say that, but I think my teachers at the Baltimore School for the Arts had prepared me
Really?
so quick. Oh my God, the BSA teachers were like, "Go! You can't waste any more time. You're late. You're already 14. You're trying to
Yep.
learn how to plie. You got to pick up everything now." So
Yep.
I was moving at such a rapid clip that when I got to Juilliard, it felt like it slowed down. And I know pedagogically that is the right thing to do, to slow down and really dissect your instrument and figure out where everything is coming from, what the intention of your technique is. But I was like, I got to be on stage. It's time for me to go.
You
So
were
by the end,
a girl on fire. You wanted to go.
I was like, isn't this the rapid clip is the speed, right? This is the speed at which everybody's supposed to move. So at the end of my first year, Hubbard Street Dance Company came to New York and they were doing auditions. And I thought, oh, I know that company. They are spectacular. I'm going to audition. And I auditioned for Lou Conti. He brought me to Chicago to actually audition with the company on stage at the Civic Opera House. That's what it was called back then. And I auditioned, and Lou accepted me. And so Hubbard Street Dance Chicago was my first professional experience 30 years ago.
Wow. So you've come home in some ways.
Exactly. So I'm back home. This is where I started. I was 19 years old and a member of this incredible organization, and the caliber was so high. And just doing exquisite rep, working with David Parsons and Daniel Ezralo and Twyla Tharp, and just having all of those experiences. But in my third year here at Hubbard Street, the Ailey Company was still there. It was still there. And I thought, I wonder if I'm good enough to be in the Ailey Company. I wonder if I've gotten good enough to be with these exquisite people that I looked up to for so long. And I auditioned for Ailey, and Judith Jamison was the artistic director. Mr. Ailey had just passed away in 1989, the year I actually got into Hubbard Street. And I auditioned, and I believe there were 200 women who auditioned, and she took one.
Wow.